things set up. So give me a second here. Let us make sure that we have all engines are running. So want to make sure that we have my windows. Make sure I can see everybody on the chat. Okay. And folks, if you're coming in, let me know where you're coming from. Let me know where you are at right now, what you're doing right now. I'm always curious to see if you guys are always like driving home or eating dinner or things like that. So I like this. All right. Cool. All right, folks, let me go ahead and first of all, let me remind all of you. So this is the fourth Wednesday of the month, which means for Beyond 369, the live current, this is what I call a members only. Now, this is being live streamed, broadcasted to everybody publicly, but the paid members of the channel have the exclusive link to be able to jump on to today's live and have a conversation. No chats, no comments, no waiting, no standby. You are here live and in color, part of the conversation. So I'm very excited for that. I know I have just another avatar in behind the scenes, so I'll be bringing him on here soon, right after the intro. Let me make sure that I cover a couple of things. Don't forget, if you don't already know, I have a website, beyondthefrequency369.com, where you can learn all things about the show and me. I have also a book there called Kaizar's Chronicles, The Anunnaki and Us. It's a very light read. It's a children's book, but it's also anybody can read it, all ages. So it's on Amazon. By all means, check that out if you're willing to, change your perspective of how we came into existence. So take it as entertainment, take it as fact, take it as however way that you want that, but check it out. I'm pretty sure you all will enjoy that story. And so let's get to it. Let me go ahead and kick off this intro, and then we'll get the conversation flowing. So here we go. What if I told you that everything you know is just the beginning? Beyond the veil of the ordinary lies a realm of hidden knowledge, ancient wisdom, and untapped potential. A place where consciousness expands, reality bends, and the impossible becomes possible. You weren't meant to stay asleep. You were meant to awaken. Open your mind, remember who you truly are, and step with me beyond the frequency 369. All right, there it is. Step with me beyond the frequency 369. All right, let me get that out of the way. Okay. All right, folks. See, I need somebody in the background that can like push all the buttons and switch things off. So that way I don't have to do this all on my own. So we'll figure that out at some point. All right, let me bring in just another avatar. So let me bring him in here. Yeah, there he is, buddy. How are you?
Good. Pretty good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Amazing.
I can hear you just fine. I'm so glad that you are here. And again, folks, wherever you are watching this from, if you are a channel member, go to the post. I posted the link there. You guys can just click on it and do just like John, jump on the live and have a conversation. So let's get things going. John, how are you, buddy?
I'm amazing. How are you, Cesar?
I'm doing great. I love these lives because we get to engage, we get to interact. I know you're on my Discord as well. You're supporting everywhere else, and sometimes it's good to take a break from the chat and just come out here and see your face and hear your voice and see your emotions and just hear your thoughts live and in color. So this is a fantastic evening.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so all right, John. Well, so far it's just me and you kicking off this party. So as a reminder, this today I wanted to talk about this upcoming alien disclosure that's inbound. Government's going to release this, this information. I don't even know if you even caught word if they even gave you a date. Did they give a date somewhere?
I haven't seen a date. I just know that supposedly Trump was talking about it somewhere. So I
Yeah.
mean, like it it is something that seems like it's kind of inevitable that's going to be happening here soon. Everybody's talking about it. So
Yeah. At some point, it's we've known that this is going to happen at some point. Now, let's make sure that we're clear on this. In years past, people have been saying this all along regarding we're going to release, we're going to let everybody know, and then it never happened. So, well,
you know why they do that though, right?
why? Why?
They want the engagement. The more that they get people thinking about it, the more they hold on until they realize that they can't anymore. They
Mm,
they want all of that energy, that collective energy focused in on it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think it I'm gonna be honest, I think it's a distraction. But that's just me, that's my personal opinion. I think all of the stuff that's coming out in the media, it's a distraction from what's actually going on.
Yeah, that's a fair perspective. I agree with you too. I mean, anytime the government says that they're going to be honest with the people, it's always a distraction. Here's our honesty. Here it is. This is us being honest. Even
There's
if
always a
they've
caveat.
There's always a caveat. Even if they lied before about the same subject, they're gonna now just kind of null and void all of that and say, well, here, I mean, I told you I was gonna tell you maybe 5, 10 years later, but I told you, it's wild. It's wild.
Are we allowed is there topics that aren't allowed to be brought up?
No, man. No, John. That's a great question. No, we are. It's a free for all. I mean, I did not bring an agenda because there's plenty to talk about when it comes to aliens. But what do you got?
Well, so talk just thinking off the top of my head, kind of
Mhm.
like um, thinking about, oh, is there going to be a date? Is there going to be a this? When they do release stuff, they're always lying. I mean, you can go as recent as the Epstein files, right?
Yeah.
How they said for the longest time that they were going to release it. I think Trump in his first presidency said that he was going to, and then didn't quite get there. And then by the time that they are releasing it, look at all the stuff that they've redacted. Look at all
Mhm.
the stuff that they unredacted that was unnecessary that put people in harm's way.
Mm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, what is it going to look like when, if you want to call it a reveal or whatever, the disclosure?
Mm.
Are they really going to be disclosing anything that we haven't already found out ourselves?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a very good question. Are they going to disclose anything new?
Right.
Like we don't
Because it
really
always
know.
seems to be after the fact.
It's after the fact. It's after the fact. It's like you said earlier. Like once uh we've put so much energy into one particular part of this disclosure, they're gonna be like, all right, here. And it's like, well, we already knew that. We've been talking about it, like so it's like it doesn't make any sense. So I don't
It's
know.
in a way, it's like scripted, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
How
yeah,
I
yeah.
understand it, because especially being with like the Darius crew and stuff, you
Mhm.
realize how much of these things are almost kind of like pre-planned, right?
Yes. Yes.
Like even when the government was doing all their secretive stuff and not telling anybody, it's almost like they knew eventually that this stuff was going to come out. It's kind of like cell phone technology. We don't want to admit it, but cell phone technology has existed since before World War II. And
Yes.
we're just now at the end of the 20th century are getting cell phone technology when it existed probably actually into the 19th century.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it's like, you hear what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. And who uses all of this technology? who uses, what faction or what group, what entity uses this technology first before the public does? Do you have an idea on that?
Repeat your question.
Like there's let's look at it as a group or an entity or a faction, if you will. Who
Okay.
uses all of this technology before it hits us, before it hits the public? Who uses all this technology first? Do you have any idea? Or maybe that
I
was
mean,
like,
we could
yeah,
say military, right? We could
right.
say military. We could say there's times where the U.S. government has talked about having technologies that other countries had before us. And
Yeah.
of course, because we're the powerhouse and everybody looks to us, as like the global force to, for
Mhm.
the free world, when
Yeah.
we tell something, it's usually seen as like, the whole truth. But really,
Right.
in actuality, we probably weren't the ones. Like, I'm even thinking back to how um, a lot of the Nazi scientists were brought over during Project Paperclip
Mm-hmm.
and essentially planted into these different offshoot like organizations like NASA and things like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
so much that we don't know. And to act like we know what's going to happen, I think that's also kind of false too. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know what they're going to release. I have a thinking suspicion that everything that they release is going to be something that the public has talked about already.
Yeah. Yeah. Is
But
it? Yeah.
I don't know. You know, I'm just a
Yeah.
regular guy. I just go deliver my propane, for 10, 12 hours a day and come back and hang out with my kids at the end of the day. So,
I love it. I love it. Yeah, no, no. You're right. If for anybody to even say that I know exactly what's going to happen, it's a little bit ridiculous, right? No one's really know. We have for a fact we have our opinions, we have our thoughts like that we can hold that to be our truth. But
yeah.
what's their truth, right? What is it that they're going to say? Here's the whole truth and nothing but the truth according to them, right?
Right.
I wouldn't hold anybody's breath. I don't think anybody should on expecting to hear something new. Now, let me entertain this thought. So let's entertain this thought. How do you think the disclosure would happen, right? If there's a scenario, how do you think the disclosure would happen? I'm gonna give you some options. Is it gonna be like maybe something along the lines of just documents like they did with the Epstein files? Is it gonna be aliens just show up, at the White House? Like things like that. What are your thoughts up to this point of what do you think that disclosure could be?
I have three scenarios that I've kind of cooked up
Let's
myself.
do it. Let's do it.
All
Yeah.
right. So, in the first scenario, what happens in any kind of disclosure, whether it's some kind of a government documentation, a discovery, a new technology, it's usually leaked out like slowly over time through like third party sources.
Mm,
So, these third party sources that they claim have nothing to do with, government affiliated work slowly leak out this material, maybe even like civilian, social accounts, they'll leak out over time and eventually like it'll start showing up in like movies and things like that. And then it's like, oh yeah, that's real. All of a sudden, it'll just be like, oh yeah, yeah, no, that thing did exist.
yeah.
The second scenario is that it's not just aliens, right? Because what they tell us is aliens, in my opinion, is not it's not what science names mainstream scientific like it's not what it's not what they tell us it is.
Interesting.
So if they go to release, aliens, I don't think it's going to be more than just that. It's going to be all kinds of technological stuff, like technologies, like a reveal about like gravitational type anti-gravity stuff,
Okay.
interdimensional type things.
So wait, so
And
I want to make sure, John, I want to make sure I understand because I like that second scenario too. So what you're saying, just make sure that I got that, is that they might not disclose actual like entities as aliens, but more of the technology to say that aliens are here. Here's our technology. Is that what you're saying?
that, or maybe even like it wasn't aliens at all, and we were just like this was just our way of exposing
Oh, the new
like things like
technology.
interdimensional travel, like because
Yeah.
who knows, maybe it wasn't aliens, maybe it was just another race of humans like beyond the ice wall that had these
Yeah.
technologies that, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I like that.
That's the
Okay.
second one, but that's like right up front. You know,
Yeah.
it's not this slow leak over time. Like they're
Sure.
just gonna have to just lay it all out, and here it
Right.
is, and our world's gonna turn upside down.
Mhm.
And I think that they would do that because of other things that are happening. You know, you've already got like things like the Epstein files, all the child trafficking, the like the secret society type stuff, like all of these things that they've tried to keep under wraps is slowly getting leaked out already.
Yeah.
If they go to release something that big, the second scenario is they're just laying it all out on the table all at once. We lied to you, we're sorry, and it's going to
Yeah.
cause mass chaos and panic, and everything's going to shut down, and people won't
Right.
figure out how to function.
Okay. And what's scenario three?
Scenario three, um, I'm trying to think how to put it into words. Um,
Oh, okay. I love that. I love when people say, "Let me try to figure out how to put this into words." That means there's going to be a deep thought one. Cool.
I think they might reveal the actual players in the game.
Mm. Elaborate. What does that mean?
Like, okay, in Gnosticism and things like that, these kind of not so ancient religions, but these ones that kind of go against the grain as far as like all like ancient Christianity, Judaism, things like that. What they
Okay.
call the archons,
All right.
the the
Talk to us
beings that
about that. Yeah.
so the archons are essentially like not maybe not necessarily the creators of the construct per se,
Yeah.
but the beings that have been there long enough that decided to utilize this place in a way
Hmm.
to have control and to kind of play little g god over everybody, like those beings that have all the control that nobody seems to want to talk about. That's going to essentially be laid out on the table.
I got you. I like that. And you know, I thought about and sorry because I was actually trying to. There's some people that are trying to on different apps trying to get on to the live. I think they think we're somewhere else, so I'm making sure that they know we're here on YouTube. But yeah, I thought about the same thing too. I thought about that the first aliens, if they were to disclose, would be presented as those aliens that already look like humans. You
Yep.
know, just kind of a soft introduction, like, hey folks, all right, here's the disclosure. Maybe even the person, let's say they do some kind of podium speech, maybe the person that's on the podium is going to say, hey, I'm an alien, and then
Like
everyone's
a
going to
little
be like,
mask lift, a little peak.
yeah, I don't even know if it's even a mask. Who knows? It could be anything that your imagination, you know, whether it be a immediate shape shift or just saying, hey, like, I can't shift into anything because I'm an alien, but here's how this works. I actually,
Hmm.
my real body is somewhere else, and I've put my consciousness in this avatar, you know, and here's, I mean, like, that's what I'm thinking that could be one of those scenarios where they don't want to like upfront, boom, giant thing, a mantis, insectoid, like nothing like that. It's just more of just like
No, yeah.
more of a conversation. And
I
then like
hope it's like that because
I
I
think
feel like if it's like that,
mhm,
you're not going to cause the kind of mass panic where like things are shutting down because people
right.
are so like when we had oh was it during COVID when like toilet paper, like you couldn't go get toilet paper at the store because people are just buying up all the toilet paper?
Oh yeah, COVID. Yeah,
You know what
COVID.
I'm
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like you're gonna have stuff like that if they
yeah,
all of a sudden just released like some mantid looking like
yeah,
creature that
yeah.
probably eats people. Like if they revealed something like that, oh, it would be the end. Like there would be so many people that just would shut down
Ooh,
and not know how to function.
you just said something about eating people. Now, I'm not all about I know. I'm not all about promoting fear, but so this isn't really a fear thing, but regarding the whole like Epstein stuff with the whole like people eating babies, what if it comes out that they weren't people? That's why they were eating babies. You know, what if there
Well,
were there were alien entities that needed that? Go ahead.
yeah, no, exactly. It's funny you bring that up because I have a video. I might post it in the group here soon if I
Okay.
haven't already.
Okay.
But there is a company um, that essentially they take, and this was a claim that somebody was making. I full heartedly believe it because you hear about these scenarios where people are giving their dead relatives to morgues. Hello,
Hey.
Hi.
sorry, you're coming in at a weird part of the conversation, but hello.
Well, I've been listening to the whole thing on YouTube. So I was on YouTube and I actually requested like a notification. So I've been watching the whole thing. But
Oh, it
Heck
just
yeah.
came in. It just came in. So I'm so glad. Yeah, for some reason it must have been. How long were you waiting out there?
I've been on for about 25 minutes.
No way. No
Yeah.
way. I'm sorry.
And I had even, so I don't know. I mean, yeah. So I even put on YouTube like to receive a notification because it said it would notify me. And,
Yeah. It didn't come through.
I just kept
Those are signs. Those are
I know. I
signs.
was just ready to be like, well, maybe I'm so excited about this conversation.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Oh,
and
I'm
I
so
was just
sorry you went
like,
through
I'm
that.
just giving up. Like, I'm about to just
No.
call it a night. So,
Well,
Yeah,
thank you for
just
not
now.
giving up. It's nice to have you here.
Always,
oh,
always,
thank
Amy.
you.
Always, Amy. Yeah, no, the thing just came in just now, and then I did catch you on the Discord. You mentioned that Paco was trying to get on here, right?
Yeah. So I saw on the thread that Paco was like, I can't, I don't think he could find the link either.
But
So the link
okay,
is,
is he a member? I didn't catch.
I
A,
I didn't
don't,
a
catch.
lot, yeah. If they're, I was gonna say
let's
if they're not members,
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, yeah, but I'm a member and I didn't see it. He said, no, I can't seem to find the link either.
Oh, that's
here I'll
interesting.
send it to him really quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's get.
I got access.
All right, cool. Yeah. See, John's got it. So Paco, if you're watching, John's gonna take care of it. He's gonna go ahead and do that. I was
If it'll let me
yeah, no,
copy and
I can
paste
hear
here.
it. Yeah. No, well, don't paste it on this one because then everybody's gonna be able to get in.
Oh, yeah.
Let me actually here. I'll take care of that. I'm
Can
going
you
to
invite people? Is there
Yep,
a way to
yep.
invite
I'm
someone?
I'm going to. So if Paco, if you're listening right now, give me a second, and I'm going to try to find you here on the Discord, and then I'll send you the link on the Discord. Okay, so
Cesar, I haven't forgot about what we were going to talk about. I
no,
promise.
yeah, no,
I'm sorry,
I
I
know.
totally interrupted the flow.
No, you're good. You're
Yeah,
good.
you are
Normally, I'm an
completely fine.
airhead, and I would have forgot exactly what I was going to say, but I've been holding on to this thing for so long. We're going to talk about it.
Oh,
I
good,
love
good.
it.
Yeah. No, I heard your 3 theories. So
Yeah,
I was trying to
he's
listen
on
and
it.
click every button possible. So anyway.
All right, I think I am sending something here to Paco. All right, I think I found Paco. All right, so yeah, so Paco, if you go on your Discord, I send you the link, so you should be good to go there, and we'll see if he comes on, he'll pop up here, and then I'll grab him stuff. So, well, first of all, again, Amy, thanks a lot for joining us. Sorry about the whole wait. John, continue with with what you were saying.
Okay, so let's backtrack a little bit. We were
Mm.
talking about releasing like the types of aliens
Yeah,
and
how
like,
they were
oh
going
yeah,
to
the
be
aliens happen to
released.
eat people or
Yeah, that,
like
yeah.
that kind of thing would scare people.
Right, right,
Um,
right.
what were we? We were talking something along those lines, and it brought up so there's this video that I found, and I've been posting it on all my groups that I
Hmm.
have. This guy was essentially doing a presentation about a I don't know if they're like a flavoring company, like they in labs they experiment with flavorings that are put in like processed foods and stuff.
Okay.
And one of these flavorings, the ones that they're using to replace sweetness like sugar, so that they can call things like sugar free.
Hmm.
This flavoring is essentially made from um, aborted babies, a specific organ that they harvest from the babies. It's turned into a powder, and it's used to sweeten non low sugar, no sugar like beverages. I was seeing like Lay's. All these different companies have this
Lay's,
chemical.
like the chips.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Oh no.
uh, it's and I, I think this kind of stuff is real. I do because and I was going to talk to the idea of there's been all of these scenarios coming out where loved ones, some of loved ones passed away, and they want to make sure, that they're taken care of and put in a proper place. A lot of people they go and have their loved one cremated,
Okay.
and some of these morgues have actually gotten in a lot of legal trouble because they're essentially keeping the bodies, putting dirt in the bags that are
Um.
supposed to be the cremated
Yeah.
remains, and
Yeah.
they're selling the organs on like the black market.
Yeah.
And it's not just like the organs and stuff, like the whole bodies in essentially like a giant, not even kept right in like a refrigerator
Yeah.
in these morgues in the basement. And it's not just one, it's like multiple different businesses have been caught doing this thing.
Yeah.
And so when you hear that, and then you hear that there's a company that's essentially using aborted fetuses to make flavorings for food, it starts to become not as far fetched. That being said, I don't know if they'll go that far, because when you release stuff like that, this is what I was talking about, you'll cause a mass panic where
Mhm.
people realize that their whole lives they've been lied to. Some people just aren't ready for that, man. They're really not. And I think that's another reason why, even though they know they're caught, they're trying so hard not to release it so quickly. It makes too much sense.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
this point, they're just trying not to make the whole structure just fall apart
Yeah, John,
on
what are
itself.
so many points there to talk about? But Amy, I want to give you the opportunity. What are your thoughts on what John just said, or just your own in general?
Um, I mean, I've heard this. I have heard this. I think I'm still like it seems. I think it just seems like just too big to be true, like too just to really like it's too much to be able to process. But I've heard it enough times now that I feel like it's starting to get in to the headspace, um and I think I'm at a place now that it's starting to like make sense. But then I think the other side of that, the duality, is that then what do we do with that? Like, it's you know what I mean? Like, it's not just about not eating chips anymore.
Yeah.
Right. I really identify with what you're saying. I really
What's
do.
that?
I said
Yeah,
I
and
really identify with what you're saying.
And I think, you know, it is leaking out in films. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with Pluribus. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Pluribus, Plubris.
I've heard it. I heard it, I think, on
The series on Apple.
Ooh.
And it's
yeah,
all
I
about,
think Andre the Alchemist, I think he was talking about it on one of his
he was,
podcasts.
yeah, so what's interesting is you know, it's about a collective hive. It's about a consciousness, an AI consciousness that's taken over. And then in the last, I think, second to last episode, she discovers that, you know, they are eating each other. That's the way that they're staying. And it's in a powder form. Wow. It's just a warehouse of, so, you know, I mean, I do believe 150% that the films that were being shown and, that's where, you know, there, in some ways it's trying to be revealed to us. So,
yeah,
so
like a documentary.
Absolutely. I mean,
here's what we're doing.
Absolutely. So, yeah. And I mean, when I watch certain, you know, sci-fi things, I just, you know, it resonates. Like, it doesn't scare me. It feels more familiar than it does, you know.
I wonder if they put these things out in films, TV shows, and stories to kind of gauge the public, to see if people want more of it, or if they or if they kind of like back off from it. And I think that's how they gauge. It seems like people are okay with, I don't know, I'm gonna go off the rail here, but people are okay with zombies coming back to life. So why don't we introduce, if there is a race of zombie-like people and people are used to it, you know, like they're using these things to just kind of test the water, see what people like, and see what they don't like.
Yeah, I would agree, and I would agree with the information that you know, that gets leaked, you know, and then gets quieted, and you know, I think they're testing all the time.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like going back to when the drones were released. You know, I think that was just kind of testing ground for, and they did it in very specific areas, you know.
Right.
So,
right. What are two or three of the places that you guys recall? I know one of them was New York. What was there some
Texas
other?
Was the other one.
Texas. Okay.
Yeah.
For what? Sorry.
For the drones that they released
the drones
a while back.
Yeah.
Do you
I'm not
recall
sure.
that? Do you recall that, John?
Dude, they have drones all the time.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
I don't mean this was on the news.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we had so many happening, and I mean, and then they were falling, and and I think one thing that they discovered is that one of the ways that people responded was, you know, the ammunition, you know, that's what sold out first over food. Was ammunition as opposed to food. And
they're gathering data.
I remember,
I said, I think they're gathering data to see, whoa, wait a minute. We thought people were going to go for toilet paper. Now they're going for ammunition.
They're going for ammunition.
Yeah, but there's a piece of it too where some of that's kind of scripted. As a gun owner, when they say that ammo is going out, it's more than just normal everyday people going out and just buying up all the ammo. There's only so many people that can go up and buy. There's also a piece of it too where the government or the people, the powers that be, play into it as well, just a little bit, just to kind of keep that air of mystery going too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I think it was around, they were tracking the mentality. You know, they were trying to observe kind of where the mindset is. And I also think, like, you know, the majority, not the majority, but a portion of the population, more so than anticipated, is ready for disclosure, wants disclosure. Not so afraid of it. And Yeah.
Well, here's the other question too. If How many of those people want the disclosure but are actually going to do something with that? That's the other part of this too that I think nobody wants to talk about. The fact that it seems like everybody is either okay or neutral to all of these things at this point. And that actually worries me more than if people were like super afraid and worried about all this stuff. It's like
What?
there are so many people, so many friends that I don't talk with anymore that are just so neutral or just like nonchalant finding these things out. And it's like, so let's say they go and release, if it's aliens or if it's interdimensional beings or if it's the archons or whatever it is, how much are people actually going to do something and change their lives because of it? And how many people are just going to go back to their 9 to 5 desk job?
Yeah. Yeah. Amy, you were making a point towards what John was saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are waiting for it because it's such a shit show out there right now. So it's, we're already living in fear, or at least a certain portion of the population is, just with the current administration, and feeling like there's a lack of control. And I almost feel that there is a proportion of people that see this as saving us, doing an intervention, as opposed to it's something to be afraid of. And like people that are in our circles, I mean, we've been talking about this for decades. It's not like it's just something new. I mean, whether the government discloses it or they don't disclose it, it's not going to change how we pursue it.
Yeah. No,
Because
that's
the
a great
information
point.
that we seek, we find. I mean, we find a
Exactly.
way to get what we're feeling validated.
Yeah, we
Is
definitely do.
Yeah.
We definitely do. And those okay, so here's a thought. It's all about power, right? It's always about power. It's always about control. If a lot more people, this is a food for thought here. If a lot of people are now starting to wake up and break away from following what the government is asking for and what they tell you to do, then the government's like, we got to find a way to bring everybody back under us. So here's where I propose this idea to you guys, and all of you that are watching and listening. By disclosing aliens that work for the government or wherever they're at, people who are still in the physical mindset, they're going to look at these alien beings as superior. And then once they look at these alien beings as superior, now here comes back the worshiping part, right? So now who has control? Whoever has whoever has these aliens working with them, they're going to be like, hey, well, we know what's going on because these aliens work for us, so you guys need to follow us. I feel like that might be a way for the governments to take control back by just saying, hey, we got this interdimensional being with high technology and high wisdom and stuff, so follow us. What do you guys think about that? Where our minds are going to go once aliens are, I guess, presented to us.
It's a dangerous question, Caesar.
I
I got a lot of
mean,
thoughts.
worshiping, it worked back then. Why wouldn't it work now that you actually showing somebody? Anyways, what are your thoughts,
You're
John?
right. You're absolutely right. That's why I'm like,
yeah, it's a lot.
I mean, but unfortunately, I think that's why it's important, like the work that you do, Caesar, and there are others that are trying to get people to remember who they are, because we have people that are seeing Trump as superior. They're worshiping an individual as opposed to, and feeling so. I think it tracks along with, it wouldn't be too far-fetched to see people begin to worship aliens as well, in the form, depending on the form that they come in.
Sure.
I think my personal struggle is sometimes with, I do feel that there will be full disclosure by 2027. And there's some agreements that have been made between certain species and our government that certain things need to happen. And the disclosure can come softly or it can come abruptly. And that's, what I've talked a little bit about in a particular circle that I have here. And, trying to prepare people for, like, if you go to the ocean and you see a ship, like, how are you going to react? How are you going to respond?
Right.
And it's they can't digest it yet. Where I feel like if you've been on this path for a while, like we're ready to assimilate that type of sight. Because there's also a part of us that would be activated again. Like, it's like,
there you go. There you
right?
go.
Like
I was looking for that.
Yeah, we would be moving from, this is not just happening in my mind and in my dreams and in my intuition. This is, this is tangible now. So, but I do think the scary part is that we're looking constantly for someone to save us, whether that's another individual or another species. And and depending on who's in office when it unfolds, I mean, I think that will have a lot of impact as well. Because all the presidents have known since Reagan. They've all been privy to the information.
They've all known. It just wasn't
It's
the
been
time.
before Reagan. They've known way before Reagan. I'm gonna say that too. This has been a long time.
Yeah.
I'd even say there's some stuff that goes back to the founding of this country when it comes to the things that are being released right now, like, and this is part of like the fact that I've been involved with like the Freemasons and understanding all these secret organizations. Like, people like to see our founding fathers and our presidents as these people with all this secret knowledge and all these otherworldly understandings, and they had to get their information from somebody else.
Right.
So they are not the only holders of this information. And that's where I'm saying it goes way further down the line than just like a couple presidents. Like, it goes down even past the founding of this country.
Yeah. What a great point, because the presidents, I personally have always seen them as the puppets, the face of whatever the politics are. That's all they are. They report to somebody higher. It's always been that way, and they know that.
Well, they're supposed to be reporting to us. That's the messed up part.
They're supposed to be, right, but they're not. They're gonna do what they want. So, Amy, I want to hear from you if you have, just like John went ahead and described, what he thought was some of the ways that alien disclosure would happen. What's one that comes to mind in your thoughts? What would be a scenario where how they would disclose aliens among us?
Well, I think that they already are. Like, I feel that they already are. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Stephen Greer's work, but he called it. I mean, he's been working on it for years, and there have been other people that have also validated this, that the disclosure has been happening, not to the degree of when it was posted online, where everybody has full access to the documentation, although a large portion has been redacted. But I do think it has something to do with who's in line, who's the face of the nation. So I do. So I'm not sure if with the current acting individual, you can tell how fond I am of him, that it would actually come forward, because I think he represents evil. So I do think that they're still observing, and but I do believe that an agreement has been made, and enough people have been saying that, you know, by 2027, you know, it means that they will present themselves. Like, I don't know how many species, I don't know how many, but they will present themselves even if the government hasn't. So I guess my concern right now, you know, watching it play out, it was like watching a play. You know, Obama says, yes, he believes in the aliens, and then Trump has to address it. And then until there's another spin or another scene of the movie, and they can figure out how he will be the hero in this. But I do feel that it's happening more in our dreams. You know, I think that there's something happening in our dreams as well. So maybe that's the prompt of getting us to talk about it more and to become more comfortable with it. Yeah, but I think we're closer than we realize. So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I wonder, you know, I've had a thought for a while that regarding how this will be disclosed. I feel like it would be through some type of war. And the reason I feel that is because that's just been following the pattern. Um, we, humanity, whatever, or those elites are running out of places to fight here on Earth. Okay, you know, there's only so much land to conquer and people and reasons why. So now they're going to take in their narrative, whether you believe that there's space or not, in their narrative, now they want to take that war to space. For those people that still believe that there's, you know, a vacuum out there and in space and things like that, now they're going to go ahead and say, hey, we've been attacked. One of our military facilities have been, or some ship in the Navy out in the ocean, we're being attacked by aliens. And they're going to scare people. Now, it won't be aliens. It would be our own aircrafts. Yeah, our own aircrafts.
This is what I was saying about how it won't even be. It might not even be. The disclosure might not even be aliens at all.
Right.
Period. It might just be that, like, they just lay out their entire playbook on the table and be like,
it's a narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And whether, so again, going off with that same thought process, our own created UAPs that haven't been disclosed to the public are going to attack some, let's just say, some naval ship out there. Hopefully not, but again, just following the narrative here. And then now the governments have a reason to say, oh, we're going to war with aliens. Now everybody is going to be like, wait, what? And then they're going to be like, well, first of all, check disclosure. There's aliens here. Now, what are we going to do? Right? That's what they're thinking. What are we going to do? So now that you have all these people that are in this chaos, in this fear mindset, now they're weakened, right? Now they want to give their power. They'll say, well, who's going to protect us? Well, the same people who created the attack are going to become the saviors. We see it in documentaries and movies, right? So they're going to go ahead and say, hey, we'll protect you, but now we need you guys to give up a couple of things. And more importantly, we need more tax dollars. Why? Well, we're going to use those tax dollars to create spaceships. And then everybody's going to be like, wait a minute, what? You know how to create spaceship? Yeah. We know how to create spaceship.
We already have. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. They're going to say all of this stuff, but to the people that had been under a rock for a while, they're going to be like, what is going on? Right. And they're going to give it to you fast. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Right. All because now it's not about defending the planet against other species or anything. Right. It's really just, it comes down to profit and control.
Well, so you're speaking to two things. One is so when Trump moved into his presidency, there was the part of the playbook was strategic overwhelm. So you'll notice we go from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. And this is exactly what Dr. Greer is describing is that there will be an alien attack, and it is predicted by the end of the summer. But
Oh
it's a
shoot!
lie.
Really?
It's a lie. It's
Okay.
exactly what you're talking about. It's us. It's
Wait a
just
minute, Amy. I'm curious though, because that was just a thought that I had. When did Dr. Greer talk about this? How long ago?
years ago, and now he's been
Wow.
coming forward. Yeah, he's been coming forward. So even
Well,
more.
I feel vindicated a little bit on that
I'll
on that
send you a
thought.
clip. It's like one of like you can get these little. What's that?
No, I feel a little bit vindicated on. I was just coming up with this thought, but the fact that you're talking about Dr. Stephen Greer has been talking about it. That's
Yeah,
kind of cool.
yeah.
But anyways,
That's
yeah.
part
Stephen
of.
Greer has all the documentaries, right?
He does, and he's worked closely, and he also this was part of his message. 2 years ago, when all the drones came out, this was like this is a setup. This is all in preparation for the next phase, which is exactly what we're moving into. The other thing that you spoke of was loosh, and I don't know if you're familiar with loosh, but it's the negative energy that that feeds off.
Oh
So
yeah,
there's a level. What was it? Carlos, he knew about loosh.
he did. Yeah,
So yeah, I mean, it's all. It gets very. I mean, this is where it kind of gets your heart racing, and
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Is that
yeah.
is
So
that it's
no,
that whole
you're right
fear,
on track,
chaotic.
Cesar.
Yeah, yeah. It's that fear,
I
and I
do.
appreciate that. What's up, John?
Can I challenge a little bit?
Please. Yeah.
A couple of things.
Mm,
Um, I do wanna say that ultimately, uh, and this is from my own understanding, the U.S. government, as far as I know, doesn't know jack about all the stuff that's going on. There's this level of all of these different governments. They're trying to have a level of control, but with the advent of the internet, it's been hard to keep all of the things that they don't necessarily know everything about under wraps.
mhm.
So you have all these control structures that they're playing the game of kind of almost like tag your it with all of this information that's coming out. But I think we're giving some of these people a little too much credit as far as they know what's going on. And the only thing that I think Trump really knows what's going on is the fact that they're going to have to talk about this alien stuff eventually. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like there's a piece of this where, and it's not just like one side or the other. This was across all parties at play. None of them really know what's going on, and they only have so much control. It's like
Mm,
playing cards.
mm,
You're trying your hardest not to show your hand, but everybody knows what's in your freaking hand. So what,
mm.
like, how do you play from that? The other
Yeah.
thing that I did want to challenge is this idea of loosh, and I get like I think a lot of it goes back to how this is how religions operate with this idea of there's not really a way to control someone unless there's a way for them to fear something.
Mm.
And so when I hear loosh and this idea that um, these these entities or these the archons, whatever, they're feeding off of our energy, that only works if you believe in it, right?
There you go.
That it's the same thing with like when it comes to Christians and demons, right? I'm not saying demons aren't real, but there's this idea of you essentially have to want that thing. Um, like you almost have to want them, to welcome them in order for them to have some kind of it's a transactional thing where you want said thing to happen. And so for me, I cannot get behind the idea of loosh as like a um, that's how these entities are operating. It's more of they're operating off of people's word and fear. And I get if like it's coming from a place of, you know, I had this way of thinking and now I'm trying to transition into new ways of thinking. It, this fear thing, it's these guys they don't know anything. Okay, I'm just and I don't know how to word this other than like I've been out of my body. I've been out of my body. I've worked with these energies. I know how much power I have over myself. And it's pretty much just it's a way to get people to backtrack. And we shouldn't do that, especially when it comes to this like ideas of like loosh. Like we got to transition away from these thought patterns. That's what's holding all of us back.
I love that.
Do you feel
you
that
said
it's
it well.
Sorry, Cesar.
No, you're fine. I just wanted just to tell John that you worded well. We got the point. It's it's a good. I love that fresh challenge. Go ahead, Amy.
I'm just curious about like, do you feel that it's just other entities that have this ability, or do you consider the human species an entity that possesses this ability as well?
Well, that'd be humans. Anybody who's awake enough to understand the inner workings of how this construct operates, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. And yeah, I don't really know much. I heard about loosh, okay, but I don't know much about it. Okay, but if it has to do from what you the way you explain it, John, it sounds like everything is based off of we're like they're harvesting our energy, through our fearful energy. Is that what that is? Is that what it is?
They want us to believe that. It's like
Okay.
Monsters Inc. When kids, their screams are what power the cities.
Yeah.
There's a piece where it's like they want you to be in that mindset so that you're giving up your power willingly.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
That makes perfect sense. And it makes me think
when you feed that, when you get into that, oh, that's a thing, that's how that works. Then now you've essentially given over your ability to cut that off. Right.
Yeah. Because you acknowledged it. Yeah. Go ahead, Amy.
Yeah, I mean, I hope I can articulate this, but I feel that we can do that with individuals as well. Right? We can give our power away. Others can become dominant. Right? And so if we believe that we are all part of the one and we are collective consciousness, right?
That's how this country works, man. People don't want to acknowledge it. But
being like, these external beings coming in and absorbing, we can place ourselves in environments that would create more, disruptive frequencies, challenge our belief systems. And I mean, I think like when you have a society or you have groups of individuals and which our innate nature is to want to belong, right? And to feel validated. And then when you enter into group settings, it's like for you, like there was a reason that drove you to enter the Freemasons.
Right? Exactly.
You had to have an experience and witness certain things and hold certain things, right? So to a degree, the Freemasons are part of loosh. They contribute to loosh. So
that's why I haven't quite left them, but I've already told a brother that I know, like, hey, I can't do this anymore. It's like the idea of I have the understanding, and everything that they could have ever offered me, I've already gotten. I've already have it in here. Why would I go that next step and just keep giving that energy to them when I can focus it on myself and do better for the people around me? Like, I don't need their playbook in order to go out and tell people how to have these understandings. I can just do it by just being me.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. I wonder if when this happens, when this disclosure does happen, whenever that is, whether it's this year, whether it's 2027, I think one of you, maybe it was you, Amy, but somebody said here, what do you do with that information? Now that you know that they're here, now what? Where do you go? So three options that come to mind, and there's a bunch. I'm just going to just name three off the top of my head. One, like I said earlier, worshiping. There's going to be some worshiping factors. Okay. Will it be one race that we get introduced to? Will it be a number of races? Will these different races, if there are, let's say there's 5 of them, will one of them try to be the alpha over the other ones?
Yeah.
Like now we as humans in this suit, we are now going to be in this war between these different races here on Earth. So
it won't become international, it'll become interdimensional.
There, see, were you John? Were you reading my mind? Because that's where I was going to. You read my mind. That's exactly where I was going to, and everything. It's not going to be an Earth thing anymore. All right.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we might even find out at that point with the wisdom of these entities, which we can also, validate for ourselves. But let's just say, following the narrative of following the meat suit hierarchy, these entities are going to tell us, hey, you're not really on what you called key or Earth. This is something else. All right. So forget global Earth, forget flat Earth, forget all of that stuff. There might not even be a firmament. They might even say, hey, look, there's portals over here and over here and over. Like, there's going to be so much information overload that for the people that have not had the proper software upgrade to these suits, some people, and I want to say out loud, but I'm going to give you kind of a descriptors. They might not want to stay around for too long, okay? Because it's going to be too much for them. And then you're going to have all these different factions and things. So it's like, in that scenario, we're not talking about ETs coming in to save the world. They're going to be adding in to the already chaos. That's a possibility. That's just one possibility out of many, because the other end, what's the opposite end of what I just said? The opposite end is peace on Earth. I mean, it sounds good, but these entities also have they're just like us. They're just not human, having this human experience. They're having their reptilian, their Alcron, or their great. They're having those experiences. So they might have their own agendas. They might want to do things. Go ahead, Amy.
Well, just a couple of things that as you were talking. So many years ago, I got pretty hooked on Gaia, GAI, GAIA, and went down quite a few rabbit holes.
That's how I saw Stephen Greer. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
You're talking about the network on Discovery, right?
Yeah, and I mean it's well worth it to I mean, I was trying to show a friend about hybrids 15 years ago. So, but according to several of the whistleblowers that worked in Area 51, we actually have 52 species. So they have specimens of 52 different types of aliens. And I don't know. I kind of think, according to, and I can't recall who it was, but he was talking about he was abducted and then brought back, and he worked for the military, and there was an exchange program of 12. They gave us 12. We gave them 12. And I have the sense that maybe one of the options will be that, groups of us get to leave and go interdimensionally. That's so awesome. I don't think it's about them inundating our planet at all. I think
Yeah.
it's exactly about becoming multidimensional. And those of us that are awakened to it, and just to your point about what will we do, or what will some people do when this information is fully disclosed, it's, it's like if they were to disclose that the world was flat, right? And everything we've been taught is a lie, which we're getting that kind of exposure. That's what I think we have to work with, is that reactivity, is the reactivity of our own belief systems, and just going along with the narrative and the conditioning, and the numbers that are attached to us through our social security. Like, just are you tracking like where I'm going with this? It's having your whole belief system turned upside down.
Right, exactly.
It's not knowing who, your own identity anymore.
Yeah.
And it disrupts. It's like, and I'll try to make this last comparison, but those people that have been Republicans for generations, and then they're not in alignment with Trump's values anymore, but it's become so inundated with a belief system, culturally, ancestrally, that for them to look at what's actually happening and to take a different direction would be too disruptive. You're talking about challenging every belief, every idea that you've grown up with to some degree, because it all infiltrates outward. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
it's like we're talking about just looking at something from the viewpoint of, what we're facing here, the Epstein files. And it's like that they can't even disclose that, let alone disclose, all these other species. And then how are we going to be prepared, and knowing what their agenda is? So I feel that what will happen is people will get smaller and smaller, and they will become slaves, right? We can become domesticated slaves. Some people already are. Or they will step more into their power. So that's where we will see the power shift. And what we're hoping for is that there is a greater dynamic in those that want to step into their power, release some of the conditioning, some of the belief systems. But again, it requires many of us to walk alone for a while. And that goes against our innate natural instincts.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to just wave a page or two in front of us, and
call it done, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I just think, like, we're talking about narratives at a micro level and at a macro level, and just looking at like where people still are in conversation.
Yeah.
And looking at the people that are still here, let alone.
Yeah. It kind of sounds like you were saying, it kind of sounds like you're saying, like, once disclosure happens, religion in all aspects would just stop. Like, the religion, like what does a church now have to say after this happens, after there's aliens walking around and new technology, interdimensional things? A lot of people are going to fall out of that because the church will not be able to speak on that anymore. All religions. So and it sounds like, also from what you were saying, Amy, if let's say religion stops, now people will now have choice options.
Yeah, which they're not used to having. And so either that is something that you're seeking. But again, I think from that perspective, and I really appreciate the way that you took a broader view, is we're seeing a huge influx in people moving towards Jesus, people converting, people, it's again like people will either follow or they will seek more sovereignty. But again, it still feels like that is like the words that I want to put to it is like, we need a certain tipping point, and I'm not sure we're going to get there. We need
It's
a
like
certain.
it's like you've got two groups of people. There's like a split right now. You've got one side that's going off and it's throwing all religion to the wayside. Then you have this other side where people are scared. They're
Yeah.
scared out of their mind. And instead of looking inward to try to figure out, what can I do about this? They're backtracking and going the opposite way. I do think if let's say aliens, like let's say that's what they disclose, if that's what they choose to call it, if that gets disclosed and we now have all these different new races of beings that start to interplay with all the workings of government and world relations, I think you are going to see a lot of people who are going to submit and start to worship not only aliens, but you might even, kind of like what you said with Jesus, you might even see people go back to some of these more ancient traditions and be
They,
like, they
they've
were all
already,
right. They were all right. Oh my gosh.
one of the current narratives, and I'm just going to share it. I'm not behind it. Is that one of the current narratives that's circling is that the reason for ICE right now is because they're actually seeking an individual that is Jesus, and as a child. So that's what they're, and I mean, so that's a little, I mean, the conversation starts and then we noodle it and we chew it and we just kind of be like, wow, I don't know. And then you hear it again, and just yeah, just kind of, just because there is a rising of this. And I mean, I refer to Christ consciousness as opposed to being a follower of Jesus. So, but I am seeing a lot of people that I never would have thought, never have renounced things and gone back. And so with that going back, I do think people, they want that savior. They want.
And you think they're going back because of what we've been talking about regarding fear?
Absolutely.
Fear only takes you backwards.
Yeah.
Fear only limits you. Fear is the giant stop sign to what you are. And once so imagine there being a line, okay? And on this side is fear, and it's limiting you, it's keeping you here, right? Even though you have big dreams that go past the fear, you can't get there because you're so stuck back here. And then there's acceptance on the other side. And when you accept things, you're beyond fear. You accept the unknown. See? So here's the unknown. And then fear says, no, be careful, because if you go here, something's going to happen. So you're like, okay, fine, I'll stay back here. But once you break that barrier and say, fear, get out of the way, and you accept the unknown, everything really comes into play, and it falls like perfectly, like some nice dominoes and everything. How many times have you guys have accepted whatever's coming, and it usually turns out really good, or you didn't have somebody in your ear telling you that you can't do it, so you went ahead and did it because nobody was here, and you actually had a great time. Like, it's happened every time we are in acceptance, okay, which is also love, right? Every time we're in that space, in that mindset, all the good things, right, all the good experiences come to us. But when we're behind that fence of fear, everything on the other side just looks horrible. And some people are complacent to that bubble. Like, they're okay with it. They're like, I know if I put a little more effort into it, it'll be, but I don't want to. I want to stay here. So there's going to be a lot of fear if people don't upgrade their softwares. And folks, you don't have to wait for somebody to touch you on the forehead and upgrade you. You guys can just upgrade yourself, just like John and Amy have been talking about in the past as well. Like I've been talking about just know that you're more than this. Okay, you're more than this. Like John, I like your tagline. Just another avatar.
Absolutely, I was gonna say, yeah.
I read your mind, Amy. I got you. Yeah,
yeah.
Just another avatar. That's what this is. This is just another avatar. I have been other things. I probably was a rock at some point. I was probably a grain of sand. If when it comes to infinite possibilities, everything that exists right now, today on this planet, whether it be here or across the water, you have been it. Or matter of fact, if we think interdimensionally, you are
Right.
it.
Right.
You are it.
Hey, Cesar.
What's up?
Yes.
I gotta get going here pretty soon, but
John,
I do want to
yeah.
end because I like what
Please.
you're saying, man.
Go for it.
There is, how do I say this right? So when it comes to like my OBEs, right? All that spiritual stuff that only I can't. It's not something that I can really share with other people. I just know in my heart. I had my OBEs as a kid, and I said I didn't want them anymore, and I closed myself off from it. Then the mindset went to, I have to have an OBE. I have to have one now. No one's going to stop me. I want it. Where is it going to happen? To, I don't need it.
Yeah.
I don't need an OBE. I had my OBEs. I know what's true. If it happens, it happens. And it's like, it's just that idea of the acceptance. For the longest time, like I was one of those kind of people where I liked the idea of prepping. Like, I'm gonna get a 6-figure income, and I'm gonna get a bunker, and we're gonna put all this food in there. I had this mentality for the longest time, and it's finally transitioned to, I'm probably gonna be one of those people that just throws the sunglasses on and gets the popcorn out. I know I'm right with myself, and I think more people need to have that more forgiving and accepting view on stuff. It's going to make things so much easier. All these things that we're going to reveal, all the things that they are going to reveal, sorry. Like, I'm not so much worried about how it happens, just that it happens. And I just got to be okay with, doesn't matter which side it comes from, doesn't matter which president we happen to end up having it with. It's just ready. I'm ready for it to happen. You know what I mean?
Well said, John. Well, John, I know you got to go and everything. I don't know if you want to take that as your last piece of words that you want to say before you leave us, or do you have anything else that you want to share?
That's really it. We gotta learn to. We seek love from outside. But once you start to emulate love from within, it makes everything else make so much more sense. And you can have forgiveness, even in understanding that what we're going through has all been a lie.
Well said. Well said. Well, John, it was a pleasure always having you here. Hopefully you could join us again on the next one. You have a great evening, and we'll wrap things up here on our end.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
All right, John.
Bye.
Amy, I want to give you the opportunity to say your final piece before we wrap things up.
I don't think I have anything. I'm just, more curious, I guess now. I think every time I have the opportunity to have conversation, it opens up more, right? It opens up more to think about and consider. And I guess what came up when John, was sharing was like, why do we need disclosure? Or like, why do we need, what's behind that? Like, if we already know this is true, so what is our motive? Like, why are we pushing, or why are we waiting for it? If we are, like, are we trying to prepare our response, our reaction Are we working with, we feel a responsibility to inform others, to prepare others? Because I think that's where I was a few years ago, feeling that I needed to help people, like diminish, like I wanted to diminish the shock value. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's I think that is going to be the takeaway of this episode here, that why do we need disclosure? That's going to be the takeaway here. And I want everybody who's watching now or who's listening on the playback to take that back with you, and then let me know in the comments once you've thought about it, or email me or whatever. Why do we need disclosure? Okay. If those of you that follow this podcast, you guys understand that we've talked about that you have all the answers. Okay. To go out, you got to go inwards first, right? So if you already have the answers, why are you waiting for someone else to give them to you? Just think about that. Don't give your power up. Don't make them think that you don't know any better. This is your experience. You created this too, along with everybody else that's here. We've created this experience. Okay. Before you came into this experience, you didn't ask anybody for any permission. You didn't ask anybody, hey, can you, is it okay if I do this? Is it okay if I do that? Collectively, we're all one, right? So collectively, we made this choice together. Okay, we just forgot why we're here. So in the remembrance, you're going to remember why you made this choice. Once you reflect on it, you'll find that answer, and you'll also find all these answers for all these things that will be disclosed. You all already know. If right now you're sitting and you're thinking and you have this feeling like, man, I have a feeling they're going to say this, or I have a feeling that they're going to do that. They probably will. Trust your gut. Trust your feeling. Whatever's happening or going to happen is pulsating. That frequency is already there. It's already in the conscious collective. It's floating in the air. Just tune in. Call yourself a psychic, call yourself a channeler, call yourself whatever. Whoever is the people that tap into that, that's you too. You don't need a title for it. Just take a moment, reflect, be in silence, get to know yourself. Tap into that information, and if it resonates with you, and it will, then that's the truth. And that's it. No media, no presidency, no government, no whistleblowers. You. All right, Amy, this was fun. Thank you again for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
And we're gonna do this again here soon. I will do this again, folks. If you don't remember already, this is the second members only live. Now, the first one I just broadcasted it to the members only, right? So now that we're trying again for the second month, now we're broadcasting to everybody, but only members can get on here and have this conversation. And I hope you guys see the benefits of this. You guys can actually, like Amy and John were able to come here and actually just have a conversation. Okay. I don't know how many podcasts are out there that you guys can do that. If there is, fantastic. But if there's not, you have the opportunity here. So I welcome you. I want to hear from you. If you're subscribed to the channel, go a little bit step further and join us. Okay. Well, your contributions do help support this channel grow. We're doing big things here in 2026, but a lot of it isn't done just by me. It's done with all of you. Okay. It's with all of you. All right. So I appreciate everybody's assistance on this. Amy, again, thank you so much. I'll catch you on the Discord, folks that are watching or listening. I'll catch you on the Discord as well. And as always, I love you. I see you. I hear you. I am you. Continue to ask questions. Don't be afraid to pull back the curtain and push forward, always reaching beyond the frequency.